back, everybody. We're here after game number 2, and it is a quick 2-0 start to the night here for SKT over SANDBOX. I feel like they've won in drafting and on the Rift both times, especially in game 2. Seemed pretty over very early on. We have some good news, though. SANDBOX has chose red side for game number 3. Give them a little round of applause for finally figuring it out. We'll see if that does help them going into game 3.
I think the only way you can get away with blue side is if you have really blessed solo laners mechanically. So I think Dumb1 Gaming could get away with it, but no team has to give SKT more than 2 games on the red side, because every team remaining, which is Dumb1 in the semifinal and Griffin in the final, have side selection advantage, Valdez. So SANDBOX will choose red side for game number 3. How does this affect pick and ban? Because SKT's reward for being placed on blue side is a bit more flexibility in the bans.
Yeah, they can leave stuff up, such as Akali if they want to pick it for themselves. They can leave the Aatrox. I mean, the Aatrox hasn't been banned yet. Has actually been played in both games by SANDBOX and has lost. But for now, it is just going to be 2 support bans, Thresh and Yuumi, trying to target out Joker so far.
Does SANDBOX ban Akali is a question they're asking internally, because I don't think there's any chance SANDBOX gets access to Akali. They're probably the best Akali squad, given that Dove and Summit are both super good at the pick. They don't have the best Akali played, in my opinion. That is Showmaker, but they are really flexible with Akali. Akali is super high power level right now. As an SKT fan, coming out there.
Swap to EU is greater than NA, and immediately the camera was like, no, none of that.
That's how you get on camera. You give them SKT, and then you show them how you really feel. Shout out to the French fan in the audience. An Ezreal ban here. Maybe they're trying to force SKT to first pick Xayah and not Akali, but that seems unconscionable. You're gonna take Akali first pick.
Yeah.
And SANDBOX have to take, I guess you could take a Draven lane if you really wanted to, but surely you take away Xayah, given that has been Teddy's weak side champion so far, and they banned away the other weak side bot laner in Ezreal.
Morgana already banned out here. Xayah Kahn in consideration right now.
Xayah jungle. Don't take the Rakan here. I don't think that's smart for them to do it. You can take the Rakan at Dove's pick and then ban stuff like Morgana. Morgana's already banned, but then you can ban maybe a further pick from there. So I think you go jungle pick here. Now, Xin Zhao's getting banned in the second round. Would there be any argument to inflate its value up this far? You do start to wonder. And with the Morgana ban, they're going to try to be bold. They're going to try to take Rakan and be a full counterpick team. And I think this is very risky. Effort's champion range is all of the supports. He plays a lot more range supports than, for example, his teammate in Mata. You could take Kai'Sa Nautilus and play through bot side here. The Kai'Sa unbanned for the first time this series, and they put faith in Effort's champion pool and say, whatever, we'll tank 2 more bans. We got Aatrox, Akali. We bazingaed champion select.
And a further pick of something that could have been selected here for the support position. The Karma's taken away by SANDBOX. And I'm just like, you're not going to put Summit onto Karma versus Aatrox again, right? But it definitely does feel like something that is very likely after that Karma does get locked in. As now these second bans could get very interesting, as you mentioned, already 4 support bans, and 2 of them technically picked here in the game, but 1 still has to be taken for SKT.
So they could ban Nautilus Volibear, but there's still more, right? There's so many champions that may not rear their ugly heads too often, but you could consider in the support role, and Effort plays more range supports than most of our support players. I don't really know how much you can relieve of that lane. Meanwhile, goodbye to the Xin Zhao that has been banned all 3 games, Valdez.
Yeah, it's not going to give OnFleek that chance, and there has been no early picks so far of the Xin Zhao. So they're going to skip on any more support bans and actually take away the Sejuani from Clid here early and just say, well, we don't want to deal with that alongside of already 2 melees, Akali and Aatrox, who can get pretty interesting with that Sejuani in the jungle.
where do we go from here? Because a 5th pick, Summit counter pick like a Fiora, on paper is one of the few ways I can see SANDBOX beating SKT as the game goes on, and yet that hasn't been the way they've approached this series. They've been putting him on Flex Karma duty, but this time they will extend the Flex. So I am of the belief that it has to be a last pick for Summit. Picking jungle here does lend credence to that idea. How are SKT going to approach this draft, as the jungle pool is a bit thinner than it has been in previous moons, as OnFleek has stolen away Clid's favored Lee Sin.
And Lee Sin and Xin, we could see another chance at Elise. He looked pretty good in game number 2, and frankly was a bit robbed of the MVP from there as well. He's going to hop right back on it and say, well, I better get that MVP in game number 3. We'll see what he does do here on the Elise. That does get locked in, as well as Leona. Everett really doesn't care. He's like, okay, you can ban everything you want, but I still got Leona.
Could have gone Nami, could have gone Leona. It really depended what they wanted to round out the comp, and more engage is needed. So they're going to feel really good about this pick. SANDBOX, this would be another Karma top lane. Okay, they're going to do it again. They roll back Karma top lane. Will be LeBlanc into the Akali, which is a good matchup. 2 tethered champions, so 2 champions that can actually make an Akali look vulnerable, and yet Akali has looked unbelievable power level-wise in recent moons. On this particular patch, I do not believe there were any Akali nerfs. They're coming in the future patch, but we're sticking locked on 9-16 for playoffs. Akali really damn strong right now, and I'm not even sure a couple of tethers will be enough.
Akali just another champion that, with that kit, you just have to scale down her numbers. You have to take pieces of her kit out. And so far, they've done all of that, right? Has tried to take the power level down, but she's still first pick, and even banned the majority of the time here, still in the LCK. So FLICKR, he showed a bit of flair with the Echo and the Kassadin. Now he's going back to a tried and true on the Akali.
And I hope they have used, I guess, the combined 30 minutes between Game 1 and 2 and Game 2 and 3 to finally get the claws into Clid's jungle pathing, because he has the option of trying to back up the Leona engage support or flip one of the lane matchups that are at the moment SANDBOX favored in terms of pick and bans. Now, he won't be starting red side clear like he has the last 2 games, most likely, as we have flipped over to blue side for SKT, but jungle difference has been there in the early game, and that has been enough for SKT to cruise largely to a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, Clid's been owning the Rift so far. We'll see if he can do it again in game number 3 right now. Here we go, back onto the Rift this time around. It's 1 best of 5 for tonight, but as I was saying halfway through game 2, it just feels like SKT are so dominant here in the series, looking even more dominant against SANDBOX than they did against Afrika. And yeah, I mean, it really feels like they're running on all gears right now, and everything's turning and going really well for them. We'll see if they can keep it up to finish out the series, or if SANDBOX is going to take one back.
I don't think SKT's looked this good since they were kind of rolling over Kingzone and Griffin in the playoffs of spring season. Even in their 9-match win streak, so many of those games were, we'll outscale you and not really have to put up much of a fight to do so. And yes, there were colors of that in the Kassadin pick in game number 2, but their level 1 plans, their mid-jungle synergy that was obviously fantastic at MSI and once again has looked really on point. Their willingness to have their mid laner roam rather than FLICKR's usual playstyle of being largely immobile in mid lane. Like, this has been SKT firing on all cylinders, and they've also played on both their tendencies and attacking the enemy's tendencies. So, really been a pleasure so far from SKT. Dove actually tanks that trade in pretty awful fashion, as he is half health for about 100 damage onto FLICKR.
Right after the 1 and 3 on LeBlanc stat pops up underneath this mid lane, as Dove has a bunch of champions that he's great on, as winning ratios on here in Summer, but LeBlanc is not one of them. But still wanting to try to shut down FLICKR. They said, maybe this is the way that we can win this one. But have to still wait to have them prove that to us.
Small buff to LeBlanc on this patch, 0.1 AP onto Q, so a bit more damage in the mid game is kind of your takeaway there. Is a frustrating matchup for the Akali, as we can tell very clearly, and not even the Shroud is going to really change too much of it because the Tether does have that reveal if it does lie. So in the early game, pretty easy to be able to blow a flash here, but this is a great lane state for FLICKR because he's actually under no threat of Tether into Lee Sin kill. He's happy enough to have the minion wave stay under turret until he gets a little bit going in terms of some levels and some items.
Minion dematerializer in the bottom lane. You don't see that every day. Effort just wants to make sure that he can secure some of these cannons for his bottom laner in Teddy.
Like this in series like this make you wonder about how SKT have been so swingy this year. 1-5 start into the recent losing streak that caused them to lose what seemed like a vice grip on first place. It seemed like SKT would cruise into the grand final, which will be played next Saturday, 8 days from now at the Korea University Tiger Dome. But that didn't go that way, right? They dropped those series, one against Hama Life, the other one against Damwon, and things got more tricky. They're looking to become the second team after themselves 2 years ago to run this entire gauntlet. As FLICKR, he's dead.
Getting in there, and he is going to pick up that first blood. Once again, just really trying to bait a little bit too hard. It happened in game number 1 up against the Talia where he gave first blood to Dove, and it'll happen again here in game 3 as Dove keeping his cool and picking up the first blood.
Yeah, it was really easy. The moment the tether went down, it was always going to be a kill to Dove. Why would FLICKR be so far up as teleport Akali? Seems a little bit silly, but like you say, it does flow on to one of the few criticisms we'd have of this series. A couple of solo kills have gone the way of Dove against FLICKR. Now here's Clid, and he's also been very on point. This is harder to pull off. It is Karma with Flash.
Just gonna flash there, and Clid slowed down too much from the Mantra Q, so can't quite follow Flash. They wouldn't have enough damage to get on in there and make sure the kill happens. So, yeah, it's FLICKR trying too hard to bait a little bit, and he gets caught out twice. That's been a recurring, unfortunate theme for him.
Because the question always has to be why, right? And his jungler is topside, and yes, he's trying to bait for his jungler, but it feels like he doesn't. You know, the amount of distance away from his jungler there is too much, and I think that was the same case on the other side of the map in the previous game. So it does seem like a bit of a disconnect there. He's been great at backing up his jungler, but the timings when it comes to those mid lane ganks have been off.
Yeah, which is interesting, especially because FLICKR and Clid have been having some pretty good communication of recent times, but fortunately not so far in a couple of the plays. I think that's more FLICKR's fault than Clid's. But either way, early Ocean Drake here at 540 is going to go down to SANDBOX as taking a nice little trade here is the Aatrox. But again, it's just the Karma who's stacking up the gold and the items.
Do you wince more at the Qs registering or all the inevitable auto-attack kleptomancies that a Karma will get after the 3 Qs are done? Which one are you on? I feel like
it's the autos for me.
It's also the autos for me. It's weird because some people are like, wow, Aatrox does so much, and I'm just like, oh, it's so annoying.
Yeah.
It's so annoying to be auto-attacked and your gold jacked from your pocket.
Yeah. But you can't just sit there and not do anything as the Aatrox, or else the Karma will just move forward and auto-attack you more. And then, you know,
damned if you do.
Yeah. She'll get 6 procs of the Klepto, and then their Q will come back off, cool down, and she'll do it again.
Oh, Dove is actually quite a lot of CS behind in the way the matchup has gone, and not going to be as important because he got the kill, but it definitely stops him from having a big snowball lead here. This has largely been because the minion wave has been in a really awkward spot, largely frozen, next to the, I guess, torches you would see on the corners of the wall there. Here's Summit. He's Karma.
Yeah. He's not really going to die. You only die if you make a gigantic mistake as the Karma. Or you just get totally outplayed.
You get low, but yeah, it's the actual mortal tick where you're like, how did that happen?
He has 2 biscuits, like, he's totally fine.
Biscuits were changed on this patch. You get the first one at 2 minutes. As, well, the ult pops, so they're going for this one. It's a combo play.
Tether's gonna come down, and well, he just got straight up killed as the flash was down from Summit. And all that talk about a big mess up and not being able to die, Summit proves us wrong as he just goes down in the solo kill on the top lane.
We didn't see that coming. The death was assured because Elise was topside with flash up, and yet we were surprised. So we'll accept our surprise. Big moment for Kahn. Kahn has been on this series. You know, he's been really good so far. As OnFleek tries to brawl, he's a level up.
And now you're over the wall here with FLICKR in your face, and now you're going 1v3. Okay, that's gonna go down. The cocoon onto the LeBlanc is actually perfect, and Clid able to flash to safety, just styling on them right now.
How does he get out with so much class, Valdez? It's so clean. From the SKT jungler, FLICKR even gets to red buff trade with Dove.
Oh boy.
My 3-0 senses, to say they were tingling would not be correct. This is much more of a emergency alert as we get in Korea.
Yeah, you know, your phone's blowing up right now.
I know in North America they have emergency alerts and it's a new thing, but in Korea it's like, it's too hot outside. Your phone is now going to be vibrating for an hour.
It's a very windy day. You might want to take it easy. Stay inside. Summit might just die again. The cocoon is going to go wide, but they have the damage to do it as it's Elise, the best diving jungler in the game. If not, then she's top 2 because easy dive is going to come in, and a kill goes down onto Summit, who was forced to pick that Karma into the top lane again, and once again is not finding much luck in this game.
Tether hits. They don't have kick here, though.
Oh, but that is going to land, though, as the flash away from FLICKR. But does OnFleek have enough damage? No! The one last turret shot is going to kill him. And that is going to be a hide-your-face in embarrassment moment to the side of SANDBOX as FLICKR gets away again.
I think OnFleek baited his teammate there because he didn't have kicks. They didn't have the damage to pick up the kill. That's why my head was in my hands, because I saw it coming. OnFleek a couple of seconds away still from being able to pick up, and with red buff. FLICKR sticks around and
trying to trade it back, and he will!
Wow, and look at the death animations, they were perfect!
Just lie down right beside each other there, as they'll both take a small little rest after that one. FLICKR lands the shuriken and makes sure he can at least get the trade back.
Oh, we're going back all the way to this. Was it the dive or was it solo kill? No, that was a solo kill. Nicely done by Kahn. And from here, OnFleek had the level lead, and that's why he chose to get in and brawl. Opened with kick, understood, but watch Clid's escape here. It's quite delightful how things go. Obviously, he gets the big help, but the cocoon fortuitously lands on Dove, but then flashing over and avoiding the chains is the skill part of it. This wasn't the end of all the fighting, though, as OnFleek, this is such a Lee Syndrome moment, because this play is perfect if kick is up, but when kick is down, it's harder. I guess we fought again.
Dove here in live. Looks like he's having a bit of trouble. Is able to get back, but FLICKR's right there. Down you will go, Cutlass to the death. As 3-on-1, not exactly fair. And now they've got another kill here, potentially, onto Joker. As he is going to try to get away with that. Ignite is ticking. He's going to live with the flash and an ultimate, plus heal, just to get away from that one.
Mid lane, we're seeing more brawling.
OnFleek, just the most tilting series in games so far. Can he pick up the kill is the question. The Q is going to miss, and he cannot get it. And now effort with the Moby Boots, just going to flash on in, and you will get swiped and taken out.
Sometimes it's not your day, Valdez, and that's the truth for SANDBOX Gaming is,
oh boy,
Summit potentially is going to be solo killed again, but never more apparent than on OnFleek, who is the Charlie Brown of this story. Nothing can go his way. Everywhere he goes, it's the opposite of the Midas touch. Everything falling apart for SANDBOX Gaming. I'm sure everyone feels that same sinking feeling, or maybe the elating feeling if you're an SKT fan.
Absolutely. OnFleek. Game number 1, it was all right. You know, it wasn't like a huge blemish on his career or anything. Game number 2, gets outplayed again. Game number 3, just the least, the worst of them all, unfortunately, as this is going to be another one You go in, you kick here, and you get out alive.
Yeah.
But no kick means you die.
Definitely the big bait here, but this was the awesome moment, and I love the death animation. I hope we get the full zoom. Come on, Riot Games, one time. As the red buff was why he stuck around, and you're like, oh, FLICKR, his Ignite's up. This is really risky. And it was, but he understood what could happen. He goes all in, and look at the death animations. Perfect. Reaching for her leg as she goes into the death chamber. This is what we missed, actually, through our last attempt at replays. How dare you?
It's a nice try, but fortunately they have 0 vision in the bottom side river. Count them, guys, 0. And they still don't. Finally, Joker's
all right, this is
getting
live.
in there.
I wasn't clear.
We live in the past here in the LCK sometimes with all the replays. As Dove, or not Dove, Summit in a bit of trouble here.
No!
Oh, that flash was a little bit too late. As now Kahn, he's going to be hiding his face in a bit of embarrassment there. I think that would have been just the kill with the flash Q and maybe an auto to finish her off, but does not happen.
If I'm the SKT coach, if I'm Coma, I roll in afterwards and I'm like, let's watch some clips to really remember this series. One of them is Kahn messing up his Q flash. That's your lighter moment of the series. That was bad. But you know what? You get one, you know? You get one.
Sometimes you just can't flash at the right moment.
Oh no, you don't get that one. No, you shut up, Valdez. You don't get to talk for a while now.
All right. Well, go ahead then with your solo cast, Papa.
Well, I mean, honestly, usually in a best-of-5 playoffs match, you're going to see a deep teleport here. I'll have to narrate this analysis. Kahn is here. He wants some kills. Summoner's up on Ghost, not going to matter. Joker runs away. Can they make the grand escape here? The answer is yes.
No flash there for Kahn, as unfortunately he wasn't able to get on in there. And now Summit is pretty much all alone. Dove left him for dead. As 2-on-2, they were never going to win that trade. And SKT, once again, feels like they're playing with their food, diving in the bottom lane now. No Feather Storm, down goes one, down goes another.
OnFleek's here!
OnFleek. Well, this is kind of cute. I'm not sure exactly what the idea is, as you're down 3 levels. Even with the challenging smite, you are not going to win this trade. As Rift Herald's in mid, and SKT fans can sit back, clasp their hands behind their head, cross one foot over the knee, and lean back and kind of enjoy what looks to be a 3-0.
One of those game states that's hard to lose, you know? Like, it's different to game number 2, and yet it feels the same. And what I was getting to when I was going to, get you to shut up and chastise you is not often in games like this can you have the lighter moments. Usually it's high-octane action. For game number 1 especially, it was a really close game. But isn't it interesting how halfway through game 3, it does feel a bit like we're watching an exhibition match from the Harlem Globetrotters. And if you were going to choose a squad to represent that over the course of 10 years, it would have to be SKT, right? But
so good.
This is very much great players having a day out and the enemy team not having too many chances.
Oh, Zaya died.
Oh, another solo kill.
Oh, what a surprise.
It really does feel like we're having a bit of fun here. On the side of SKT.
This is the playoffs, by the way. We're in best-of-5 territory, remember, guys? Doesn't really feel like that in this game.
We're just kind of waiting for what YouTube montage moments can happen. We don't need analysis anymore. We can both be play-by-plays.
That's fun.
And for, I guess, 80% of the audience, because, of course, we know how skewed this is towards SK Telecom. For SANDBOX, it's sad, because it's been a really great year from them. When they came into the league, they were the rampant favorites to finish 10th, because they had no players anyone had really heard of. We just assumed they would be a fodder team. It's been a really proud 2019 for them. They've overachieved in a big way to finish top 3, top 5, and yet they're going to have to kind of take a few lumps from this series and also potentially find a way to backdoor to Worlds. It's not impossible from them. They will be playing. I believe it's already locked in that they'll be playing in the second best of 5. It will be a FLICKR King Zone as the first best of 5. Winner plays SANDBOX, and then it's Dumb1 Gaming or SK Telecom. The remaining teams to be the final boss. So that's locked in. Don't let it distract from a great year, but it's not a great day.
It's going to be one they're going to try to forget, but hopefully a lot to learn from this one as we're watching again Summit die over and over on Karma. Just feels like bullying at this point. But again, we have Clid rotating, and we're 2-on-1ing the poor Karma that's so far behind, even more so in this game, 0-4. SANDBOX looking to take out their first turret, but it just doesn't matter as they're down 5,000 gold here, plus at 17 and a half minutes. SKT looking to take down a tier 2 turret even, perhaps.
The moment Aatrox is solo killing people on this patch on 9/16 and Akalia 6 kills, you have no lane assignment options. And it's the sort of draft where the moment you get Akalia and Aatrox, surely something had to go wrong. And the reason why I was sitting there with Kahn, again, one of the Korean analysts, trying to make sense of SANDBOX choosing blue side is we know what SANDBOX provide. They've got a great Draven player. We know how they like to play the game. They've got a great Akali player. What was known was clear, but that didn't justify choosing blue side and not getting counter picks. And so we were sitting there going, what is the super pick? What is the sexy pick they have to make us a believer of the blue side choice? And sadly, from game 1 and 2, the answer was they didn't have one, and it was SANDBOX. More is what it is on paper, i.e. the squad that just got promoted this year, that has made it to a best of 5, congratulations for you, rather than SANDBOX is this really intelligent team that could potentially do a number on SKT in a best of 5. We couldn't know until we saw it, but sadly the result is that SANDBOX didn't have any joker picks, any surprising picks. And SKT have read them like a book, and it's been nice to watch on their side, but sadly not a lot to talk about on the SANDBOX side.
Yeah, especially in this game, as it's 12-2. All the numbers, obviously, in SKT's favor. And, well, FLICKR's just going to dodge everything, and now we're looking for more damage, as now it absolutely does feel like a solo queue game, as we're just bursting people down 100-0 like it's nothing. It is
he hit it!
Oh, boy.
Beautiful.
Effort's like, this is my time to shine.
Effort's like, I want to keep my flash. And he did. Nicely done, Effort.
I want to add some good highlights.
That was a VAC moment for him. How many other esports can we reference in this cast?
Well,
Kahn, that's not your base.
He's trying to slam dunk here in the backside. As, we're just diving. Teddy is going to pick up the kill. Kahn is going to play bodyguard here.
Kahn, that's their base.
Can he go 1v2 here?
Yes.
Yeah, he absolutely can. And now he's got his entire team behind him. And down will go OnFleek, and whoever the hell this is. Shall we start the Akity Sacks again? This time it's SKT running, though, as everybody's in the face of SANDBOX. And Effort's going to die. Summit, okay, thank you for resetting the kill counter. Now you're worth gold again, says SKT. And, yeah, well, we're just really smurfing in this game at this point.
Oh, yeah. This is hard to watch, and yet we'll just have fun and laugh about it, Valdez. That's what we've got.
Yeah.
Gonna keep the enjoyment level high.
Typical LCK style.
I mean, it's 20 kills in 20 minutes. This is typical LPL style. In this particular one, getting flexed on. At this point, SANDBOX are like, maybe I can get a kill or a montage play myself. Maybe a KDA can be changed. That's really all you've got going for it. There's so many different nuclear weapons. Look at this VAC moment, though. Beautiful. Oh, that's a headshot right there.
Played right into it, too.
And then Kahn decided that they don't even get a base. He's so cruel. What a hard taskmaster. They don't have raptor camps. They don't have jungle camps. They don't even have a base if Kahn and Teddy are to be believed.
Flashing inside their base. And even with OnFleek spawning, Kahn is level 13. Effort here.
Who's trapped with who?
Not sure about this one, but he's going to live for just a moment longer. And now SANDBOX are trapped in with SKT. Absolutely.
Get the boss plant! Oh, he got there.
Yeah, he did. He's not getting away, though. As Teddy, what's going on, buddy? Trying to go 1v2.
I think we're having too much fun, SKT.
Yeah, Dove actually did get away to let him go up to the top side as rotations coming in, and now we're swapping parts of the map. SKT are now on red side. So you might want to flip over your monitors, guys, as Kahn coming on down from the north.
Oh my god, he killed him with a Q! That was a human form Q assassination.
Followed him all the way down. Thought he was getting away.
Music is back.
Yeah, here we go again.
Summit has been playing a single-player RPG during this series.
Effort's going to join up and help out the Aatrox. It's happening on the minimap here.
What single-player game does it feel like Summit's playing? I want to say Stardew Valley. He's a farmer.
A farm?
Yeah. He's trying. He's trying to tend to his farm, but it's getting invaded by dastardly
like
SKT
he's playing
foes.
Metal Gear Solid or something. He's trying to run away so
big
hard.
value stasis there.
He's trying to stealth away from the enemy guards, but he can't. He gets caught every single time. And down he goes again. Poor Summit, man. Put on Karma twice in a row, and this happens twice. Got a feel for them. Although I'm sure the SKT fans are just basking in the glory right now.
The afterglow is so real.
Yeah. Baker's like, no, that's mine. Ghost, you thought you could kill me. He's still in the shroud here. It's like no perfect execution for just a moment as in comes Teddy.
Uh-oh, Aatrox.
Oh! Yeah, you're dead. And Joker here, no flash for the Aatrox, so he might actually win, or live rather, as Joker is going to get the stopwatch out of Teddy. And we really are just playing with our food. They left the rest of them to kill the Baron while the other guys are just playing around trying to kill the enemy.
Another VAC.
Now we're getting a kill now as in goes Baker going 1v2. He finds a weak Gazelle on the top side of the map. The guy who's been running the entire game continues to run.
I wish we had the player cams on. Surely all 10 players are smiling at this point, right? Oh!
Oh, he lives. And, yeah, there you go. Now, is it VAC or is it back? I thought it was back.
I just called a VAC
I don't actually know
what
the
that
was.
stand for. That's a interesting point. It stands for Valve, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I thought it was Valdez.
Hey!
There you go.
VAC is almost Valdez chance.
It kind of is. Just extend the Valdez to VA. And then see.
Wow.
There you go.
I'd love to extend the Valdez to 5 games, but I don't think we'll be extending the Valdez to 5 games today.
Not today. There will be opportunities in the future, for sure. But this is not that day. As Effort, he did die in the end, but it was a noble death. As he almost lived, actually. The LeBlanc had to get in there and put a Q down. Not a lot of other people did, though.
No, it wasn't that kind of day. Teddy decided to 1v2, because why not?
Ghost actually baited him. He's like, you want to go? You want to go? And then he called in his big buddy.
I believe Summit was envisioned, though, before he pressed R, and yet he was like, why not?
Yeah.
Watch this human form Q, though. I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
Oh, no, it's a spider.
Oh, spider.
Yeah.
There you go. We learned something today.
The spider can actually, it follows a path that you declare for a while. And then it follows whatever's nearest.
Do you remember all the words to Itsy Bitsy Spider?
Yeah.
Is that a normal thing? Do young kids today know all the words to Itsy Bitsy Spider? I'm not sure if...
What did you say?
Itsy Bitsy Spider.
That's not what you said the second time, but I'm gonna leave it at that. As I don't know. There's they like that Baby Shark song nowadays. Baby Shark, do-do-do-do-do. In goes the Leona.
That's not a baby shark. That's a real shark.
That's the Grandpa Shark coming on in as well. That's a nice Feather Storm, buddy, but you're going to go down too. That's the full ace, and it looks like SKT have bought themselves a ticket to the next round of the playoffs.
Hard to disagree with that, Valdez. It was a demolition in Game 2. 30 kills in 25 minutes, and that's just from SKT.
That is unbelievable. SKT put the boot down, and they stomp SANDBOX into the dust. 3-0, and they say, Dom1, come at us, bros.
And people were talking about the challenger's evolution and the potential for Griffin, SANDBOX, and Dom1 to decide LCK Summer 2019 playoffs. Turns out the demolition by SKT keeps them as the only storied org next to Griffin and Dom1. They book a mouth-watering best-of-5 for Sunday. Your LCK Summer 2019 semifinal for your best-of-5 between SK Telecom T1 and the Young Mechanics crew and potentially rising stars of Dom1 Gaming.
It's going to be a mouth-watering series. You and I, Pop, are going to be watching from home, as good old Atlas and LS are going to be joining forces to bring you that amazing semifinals. As, wow, this was a statement out of SKT. They looked so prepared, not only for the draft, but especially guys like Clid were just playing at their supreme top level tonight, every single game. The consistency to play at that top level every single game is just incredible. We'll have to hope that he does keep it up into the future of the playoffs. Everybody on the side of SKT, even Kahn, in this time, we both gave him our MVP vote, gets the solo kill, and just begins rolling face on the Aatrox. Guy came out with a vengeance tonight. Unfortunately, that does mean that SANDBOX are going to be the ones crushed by the 0-3. Was hoping for a bit of a better series, but not the way it was meant to be, as a lot of 3,000s out there for FLICKR and 3,000 kills. Suppose maybe he did pick that up from this series.
SK Telecom T1 in playoffs so far. In best of fives, they have played 3. The semi-final of spring, the spring final, and now this quarterfinal. They are 9-0. Have not dropped a game. They have dropped a game in playoffs because they did drop a game, of course, in our best of 3. The best of 5 SKT is a different beast, has been said since 2013, and 6 years later, it is still super true. SANDBOX tried something bold. They went on to blue, and we got the tea leaves out. We looked into the clouds. Was there something special? The sad truth was there was not, and they were not on the same level as SKT, and maybe not even in the same league when it comes to playoffs performance. First best of 5 is not going to be one to remember. For the side of SANDBOX, we just can look forward and say, what an exciting best of 5 we have in store for Sunday, and whatever the result, even if it's a repeat, even if Dam1 don't play to their level and drop down 3-0, it still makes our grand final oh so interesting.
Absolutely. As we're going to take a look at some highlights here from the game. There were quite a lot of kills, so I'm not sure exactly which highlights you are going to take out here, observers, but Kahn certainly had a lot of them here. Gets the solo kill after I was ranting on and on about how this is basically impossible. Summit proves us wrong. Of course it was Flash against non-Flash. But either way, highlight after highlight, SKT just looks so damn good after this series.
Just flexing on them in this last game. The broken mental was where the fail Flash, I didn't even notice there. I know it was normal Flash, never mind. Was caught in all of the shiny lights. OnFleek. Dove said, I can hit the chain, and OnFleek didn't mention he didn't have kick. And just another moment where SANDBOX will wonder what if. I don't think 1, 2, 3 of those moments changes the series result. Well, that's something that's easier to tell them in the future days than it might be after this game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we were already feeling the tingling coming on in at the beginning of game number 2. We were already saying, wow, this could just be a 3-0. And this wasn't even a close game or anything like that, as now just another solo kill perhaps here in the mid lane.
My favorite
OnFleek got baited again.
My favorite era of watching SKT was watching on as a fan in 2013, when of course they made that huge run from debuting in Spring Champions 2013 to winning Worlds. And my favorite reason for watching them then was how they played best of 5s. Longtime viewers will remember they would leave open all of the enemy team's best champions, try to beat those champions in game 1, and know if we beat them with their best champions, their mental will be entirely broken, and from there, it will be an easy transition. That wasn't quite the same case in terms of how the pick and ban went, and yet, this series was game 1, and then 2 and 3 were an afterthought. The real competition really occurred in game number 1. And SKT picking up the victory there had very clear inroads onto a SANDBOX rookie roster in best of 5s.
Yeah, and it's the second time, unfortunately, now that SANDBOX has fallen in the first step of playoffs. In spring, it was in the wild card in the best of 3 against Dam1. I don't remember if that was a 2-0 or a 2-1.
I want to say 2-1.
I think it was a 2-1 as well, but now they go down 0-3, and I just thought that having a older, experienced voice doing the comms with Joker and, you know, some pretty good mechanics on their team. You know, maybe it's not Dam1 level, but they got some young players that are quite good. You know, Summit really showed his stuff here in 2019. Dove has always been consistent on Fleek. I feel like has gotten better and better up until this series. And they were just really not able to put together anything for this series.
Not at all. I feel like their preparation with the extra time they had should have been a lot clearer. SANDBOX have this weird spot where you would always look past them when ranking teams, and yet, if you looked past them, they could beat anyone. But when you gazed at them and tried to really fully understand them, they would often, whittle away and not be able to get up to the level we know that is possible from them. And I think it's pretty damning when the team was being described. There was the interview with SKT in the press conference after their win 2 days ago, where the interviewer, the reporter asked, SANDBOX are a macro team, how are you going to prepare for them? And FLICKR, I believe, quite confidently said, we'll just play macro better than they can.
Yeah.
And a macro team is always a bit of a cop-out when explaining a team. SANDBOX are usually smart, sometimes they make mistakes, and they don't really have too many other clear things in their corner apart from how maneuverable they are in pick and ban between Dove and Summit. That was more relevant in spring when we still had the Worlds meta from 2018 going on with Akali and Urgot and Lissandra. In summer, they're still a good team, but I don't think they can go out with performance like this and be remembered as a great team. Is it unfair to say that? Should they have been shooting to be a great team when auto-relegation seemed so likely in the start of spring? It's still an amazing year that's still not done. They will play in the second best of 5 of playoffs, but we start to see the ceiling of SANDBOX gaming today.
They have a chance, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm going to hand it to Ji-sun for the translation of this interview.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Jason with Universal Translation, and we'll be hearing from the whole SKT squad. So, Captain FLICKR, how do you feel about the win? Well, yeah, we're up here, so we're just going to do our best in terms of preparing for the Diamond Gaming series. It was a very dominant game. Did you have any good feelings or good dream coming into today's venue? Well, I thought that our performance would be actually bad, but our performance was even better than I expected. So I'm not thinking of like special dreams before the day before the match. We'll just, I don't really remember anything. I guess you had a very good night's sleep. So Kahn, you only had a day to prepare, but the draft competition was really fierce. So, did the coaching staff do a lot of work for this? Even though we had 1 day to prepare, our coaching staff, they were staying up all night, coming up for a better draft. They're watching the foreign leagues, so they teach us a lot. So yeah, I think they did a great work on this. And Clid, game number 1, you got another MVP on Silas. So we have this highlight clip, so let's take a look at it. So what kind of communication went in this fight? So we knew Draven didn't have flash, but he was kind of pushing too much. So I also had Tulia ultimate that I stole from Dove, so we had the perfect angle to fight, so we were able to get a lot of profit there. And Teddy, SK Telecom actually chose red side for game number 2. Is there any reason for preferring red side over blue side? Because we can go for the later picks in 3rd and 5th pick, and we just feel more confidence in red side and effort. You are stronger, as you promised in the previous interview. Especially game number 2, your synergy with Teddy was on point. So what was the focal point in coming today's preparation? There were some positioning issues, so that was the focal point in our feedback. I think we are a bit stronger than last time, so it feels really nice. I can indeed say you got a lot stronger. And let's talk about game number 2. You got an MVP on Kasarin on mid lane. Very unorthodox pick. Was that your own idea? Well, I have a broad champion pool, so I can just go with the champions in each situation. But I do kind of being a little bit vocal in terms of pick and bans. So, game 2, you were controlling all over their lanes. So let's see the level 16 Kasarin, how powerful it is. So you are going in for a flank. Well, when you hit level 16 on Kasarin, you really want to just go in for fights. I had a very good position over there. So I just made calls for my teammates to let's go open fights. And then, game 3. Summit. Well, you kind of finished Summit over there. And when you guys had one match or one set to finish up, was there any special advice from the coaching staff? Well, nothing special, because we were doing a quite good job in game number 1 and 2. They just told us to like get rid of some of the mistakes and do a great job. And Kahn, you got the MVP on Aatrox for game number 3, and you also played Aatrox versus Karma in game number 2 and 3. So you were kind of outscaling him in laning phase. Well, all the top laners, well, they actually don't really want to play Aatrox up against Karma, but getting hit by Karma all day long, it's really stressing. But we had a really good comp with Aatrox, because we can go in together with Aatrox in the front line. So I'm really happy that we were able to pull that off. Thanks to all my teammates. In game number 3, as soon as SANDBOX went for Xayah Rakan, effort locked in Leona. Before the pick and ban, we had Xayah Rakan coming from SANDBOX in our minds. So, but we were completely ready, so it was okay. So this was your first Leona game. Are you satisfied with your performance today? No, my skill shot was quite bad. It was not perfect, but the pick itself was okay. So you'll be stronger in the second round? I will do my best. So there were a lot of kills in game number 3, but it was very dominant on the SK Telecom side. So what kind of talk did you guys have after game number 3? Nothing really special, but well, the 3-0 victory really reflects how improved we are in terms of performance. So I just hope that we can all do even better in our upcoming series. Any message for your teammates right here? Nothing special. Let's do well in our next match. Your next match will be against T1 Gaming, and the miracle run is still on. Kahn, how are we gonna prepare for that? I have nothing special to say. I'll just do my best to prepare for it. So we are on a great momentum with this 3-0 victory, so we're just going to do our best in terms of preparation, and we will do our best in the T1 Gaming match. And moving on to Teddy, actually. Well, our performance looks quite decent, so we will do our best in our remaining series. An effort? We have been showing new picks during the postseason, so we will do our best to show more of the pocket picks in our upcoming match. And FLICKR, any message for the fans? Our goal is making it to the finals and getting the trophy of LCK, so I hope we can take down T1 next time in the playoff round 2. So this will be the end of the interview with SKT players, and I'm going to pass it back to our casters. Thank you.
Thank you, Ji-sun, for another wonderful translation. Good to hear from all the guys there on SKT, as after that one, everybody left a little bit speechless. Even the guys on SKT are like, well, we crushed them, so nothing special. Let's do really well next time as well. Nothing special, we're SANDBOX. We'll see what Damwon can do to step up to the rolling force of momentum that is SKT right now.
They should, on paper, represent a much tougher opposition that can potentially blue side win against SKT because of the power of their solo laners. And yet, who's to say SKT won't turn up the style once more? Should be an awesome best of 5 for Atlas and LS on Sunday. You and I will definitely be eyes peeled wide on Twitch chat, enjoying that one. The Grand Finals comes a week later, so the action doesn't end here. In case you want to watch some League of Legends, LPL, Invictus Gaming potentially could be eliminated from playoffs today. They're in action right now over on twitch.tv/LPL, and the LEC playoffs starts later.
Yeah, lots of league to come your way. Unfortunately, not as much from our end. Under 3 hours on this broadcast because it only went 3 games as SKT crushed them. Not much else to say. Just hope you guys tune in for the next time here for more LCK action in a couple of days.
You take me higher when I feel low. Make my world brighter when I'm alone. I keep on rolling, all with your fuel. You're like my gasoline that makes my dream come true. 'Cause this is the beginning.
혼란, 카오스, 역대급 혼전이라고 읽을 수 있을 만한 상황. 역대급 아무를